Hello guys, and welcome to tutorial number 21. And in the previous video we actually took a look at classes and IDs, and you saw how we could actually uniquely style elements by just giving them classes or IDs. And in this video we're gonna actually try to add a little bit more power to that by making use of child selectors. So you can see here my body is actually empty, my CSS file is empty, and if you take a look at my browser here, it's also empty. So what we can actually do now is, let's say we're having a div, and this div was having a class of green, okay, and now we have a paragraph within this div, and we can say this is a paragraph, okay. I'll go ahead and save this. Now duplicate this a few lines now, and okay, so if you want to actually style this now, what you do is you go to your text editor, type in the P, and say give this a color of what class do we give to this? Green. Okay, so you say you want to give green, end that off, save it, come to your browser, hit refresh, and now we've actually got this in green color. But let's say we're having another paragraph outside of this div, and if I actually go back to your browser now and hit refresh, you're seeing that we're getting all the text styled green. Well, let's say we didn't actually want that. What we wanted to do was just style this element within this paragraph, or this element rather within this div, right? But to do this, what we can actually do is make use of the child selector here. Okay, so to do this, let's go to our text editor and the CSS file, and want to actually add a little bit more power to our coding. So what you can do is go ahead and say, just before this p tag, you can go ahead and type in div and space, right? So what this actually means is that this p tag here signifies the child selector, and this div tag here signifies the parent element, or the parent selector. So this is telling us that this is the div and this is the parent. So whatever element that when the browser actually checks our code and it sees a p tag, it should actually only style or give any p tag a color of green if that p tag is under, or it is surrounded, or it is within a div, right? So here you can actually see now that we have a p tag within a div. So our browser will actually only style this paragraphs within this div, and it will actually omit this one here, right? Okay, so this is just saying this div here is the parent, and these p tags here are the children of this div. Okay, so let's go ahead, save this code, come back to our browser, hit refresh now, and now you can see that we only have this text styled in green color, and this one that is not within any div was left out, right? Okay, so that's actually one scenario. So let's take a look at another scenario when we're having another div tag with children of, okay, so that if I can just select this again, come back down here and paste this in, okay, save this, and now you can actually see that we're having another p tag in here, and it is having a parent of div. So let's go ahead and change his name now, okay, red, and we wanted to actually style this red, and we want to style this green, right? So if we actually go to our text editor now and hit refresh, you can actually see we're having this in green and this in green, but this is not what we want, right? Because here we're saying this is red, so we're expecting this to be red. But to do that, what we have to do is we need to uniquely select this element. So we can actually select it by using the class, so the child selector of the class. So here we're having this to be having a class of green, and here we're having this div to be having a class of red. So what you can do is add a little bit more power to this by saying every div with a class of green should be styled or given a color of green. Then every div with a class of red and having a child of P, or having a tag of P, should be given a color of red, right? So go ahead and end this off, come back to your browser, hit refresh now, and you can actually see it actually works, right? So now we're having all these text here styled in red color. Okay, so that's actually the power we can actually get with child selectors. So we actually, what we did here was selected all the P tags here within this div, having a class of red, and we now have everything here styled in red and everything here styled in green. Like all this has no styling. So this is actually the code for it. So this is just saying every div with a class of green and a child of P should be given this color, right? So take note here, there shouldn't be any space before typing in the class, but there should be a space before typing in the child of a certain element, right? So every div with a class of red should be and a child of P should be given a color of red. So that's what the browser actually did and styled this. So this our code here is very strict, right? So if we went ahead and even copied this down, and let's say we had another one in here, and let's see this was given a tag of span. Save this, go back to your browser, hit refresh now, you see that it didn't actually get styled, and this is because we were very strict in styling our code, because we said only divs with class red should be, and a child selector of P should be styled in red color, right? But here in our text editor you can actually see this is a span tag and it's not a div. So for that reason our browser didn't style it, even though you can see here it has a class of red and this is having a class of red. Our browser was very smart enough to know that this is a span tag and not a div tag. So it actually went ahead and omitted this whole code by not giving it any styling of red. So I know this is actually a very simple example because it's just a few lines of code, but if you actually styling something like a website where you have a bunch of codes going over thousands of lines or hundreds of lines, you actually be able to understand and get the feel of how and why you need to actually uniquely style elements, both using child selectors and classes and IDs and other different unique styling rules. So what I advise you guys to do is go ahead and practice, try different scenarios and see how you can actually select codes more uniquely. So this is just a tip of the iceberg. There are more ways you can actually identify your codes more uniquely. We'll be taking a look at a few of them in future tutorials. So for now I'll just go ahead and leave you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for staying to the end of this video. That really means a lot to me. So please, if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful to you. Subscribe to my channel and watch another one of my videos, and I'll see you next time.